All dry at the start at the moment, and the cars just finding their way around the final corner then to line up on the grid. You saw the two Ferraris in the background there, Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc, starting in exactly the same places as they did in Turkey, and that produced a podium for the Ferrari team. Vettel is saying they've got to be as sly as a cunning old fox with strategy to try and score some good points here today. I like the thought of Sebastian Vettel as a sly, cunning old fox to try and get some decent points. But it wasn't the greatest qualifying. All the three Ferrari-powered teams slower in qualifying yesterday than they were 20 months ago in the last race here at Barein. And there's Nicholas Latifi racing here for the first time in Formula 1. Of course, he's been here in the support series in F2 before, won the feature race last year.
Taking his time at the back there. He'll have some nice warm rear tyres when it all eventually kicks off and the 5 lights go out and your magic line comes out, Crofty.
Yes, it's time once again for round 15 this time in 2020. It's lights out and away we go. Hamilton then gets away well, Verstappen off the line well, and he's already wheel to wheel with Valtteri Bottas, and there is Alex Albon on the inside of Bottas as well, and Perez coming up on the inside of Verstappen, who is now in second place. Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez, then Albon and Ricciardo. Bottas has lost 4 places already as they file their way through, and Lance Stroll going off the track already, and that is that damage for Lando Norris. That's certainly damage, and a big fire there as they exited out of turn 3, and that looks very nasty indeed, and unsurprisingly that is a red flag that has been put out by race control already. That was horrendous as the car went into the barrier.
So unusual to see. We think it's one of the Hasses that's gone into the barrier. So unusual to see a Formula 1 car with all the safety cells and fuel and what have you immediately going in flames. Of course, the driver is well protected with fireproof clothing, helmet, gloves, boots and everything, but that just went straight up.
Looking at the timing screens, I think that's Romain Grosjean that has gone in. Yes, I've just seen Kevin Magnussen file past there. That's Romain Grosjean that has gone into the barriers there. And although that is a slow corner down at turn 3, but you're still making your exit there at about 140 miles an hour. Slow corner by Formula 1 standards, and not much runoff as well, and no way was there any possibility of avoiding contact with the barrier. And just looking there, Lando Norris, you can see his front wing scraping on the ground, so he's had contact. Lance Stroll we saw going off the track as well.
Yeah, Stroll was bouncing across the runoff area there between 2 and 3, but it was some way behind, wasn't it? Somehow the Haas just spun around into the barrier. I'm trying to work out what it was that would just instantly go up in flames like that. It's the fuel cells in the middle of the car, and obviously then all the engine and gubbins is behind you. What would just immediately go up like that?
Romain Grosjean in this, the first of his final 3 races in Formula 1, and what looked like a very, very nasty crash into the barrier at the start here. No news on him and how he is down at turn 3, so we just wait for any news whatsoever. I think he's already out of the car. I'm being told that he is out of the car, Romain Grosjean, which is just the best news that we all want to hear at the moment. Paul DeResta at Sky Race Control.
Yeah, can you hear me okay, Crofty? I managed to go back and actually see what happened, and it looks like it's contact between a Toro Rosso. I think it's Danny Kvyat. He comes across at a very sharp angle, makes contact, and then where the barrier kind of, it's not parallel to the track, it's the barrier that's coming at an angle, he hits it at basically the same angle both sides, which was where the impact was.
There he is. This is live shots. Romain Grosjean in the medical car, talking there with the medical team. Dr. Ian Roberts on the scene, as you would expect, instantaneously, and great news to see Romain Grosjean talking there, not just for us in the commentary box, for you back home as well, but for these guys and girls in the Haas garage who would have been very, very worried for a few moments there. That's just brilliant to see Romain sat in the medical car now and talking away.
Yeah, I mean, the fuel tanks are very carefully sealed. They have dry brakes on. all of the unions, and I've not seen a Formula 1 car catch fire like that for a very, very long time. I'm thinking back to Gerhard Berger in the wall in Imola and times like that back in the old days when the cars used to break up and spill the fuel. That's highly, highly unusual.
We'll see things ignite, you know, when oil leaks onto an exhaust, for instance. Pierre Gasly had it in practice just recently in Portimao. But in those sort of situations, often the driver has time, Martin, to pull to the side of the track, stop, and then jump out of the car. That situation, it all happened in a matter of seconds, if not tenths of a second as well. So the session stopped, as you can see. The race stopped, and Romain Grosjean in the back of that medical car. The race stopped with Lewis Hamilton leading from Max Verstappen. Grosjean rather gingerly walking out of that medical car, so there will be a delay whilst they clear the Haas away, whilst Romain Grosjean goes to the medical centre, whilst they can make any repairs to the barriers that they might need to as well. And he's been helped into the back of an ambulance and will go straight to the medical centre here at the circuit. Stretcher there for him if he needs it. But quite an impact there, as I say, that corner, making your exit there at about 140 miles an hour. And didn't look like, in the brief moment that we saw, there was any deceleration of speed.
No, and it's well out of the corner actually, where he's gone into the barrier, and the barrier is coming back towards the racetrack. Not an area you would normally expect a car to be in, I must say. The contact having just, I'm sure we'll get a replay of it when the race director, the TV director, is comfortable and confident about exactly what's envisioned, but it is a very, very high-speed impact. Yes, you're accelerating out. It's quite a long way out of turn 3, actually, and it's gone clean into the barriers, and obviously something's ruptured immediately in the impact. So you have 4 layers of fireproof clothing on. The base layer you can see there with Valtteri Bottas, 3 layers of overalls, and your fireproof gloves, boots, balaclava, and your crash helmet, of course. There's a fire extinguisher in the car, and it's as well protected as it can be, and the bag tank where the fuel is. Of course, you do have quite a lot of oil on board the car, but you could put up to 110 kilograms of fuel in the car to start with. This is quite a high fuel consumption circuit, so that's the amount of fuel that got thrown into the wall head first.
I'm hoping as well that there were no marshals in that particular vicinity. You've been out on the track, Martin. The marshal posts down there. There is a marshal post at turn 3, but if the incident happened just a little bit further on, hopefully there were no marshals just on the other side of the fence. This being the FIA's weekend of thanks for the volunteers and the marshals that help us all go racing week after week in Formula 1, of course, and in all forms of motorsport. And a big thank you to all those who give up their time to ensure that we can go racing. A weekend of thanks from the FIA, whose President John Todt is here at the Bahrain Grand Prix this weekend. You might have seen him on the grid just before the start of the race. Have 57 laps to complete. Lewis Hamilton, as we saw that, and it started on pole, and we can see the start now. He gets away very well, as does Verstappen. Bottas getting swallowed up by the pack very quickly here. Albon to the right-hand side. Perez straight down the middle and into to 3rd place. And there's a bit of a concertina effect in the first corner. You can see just at the bottom of your screen, Lance Stroll goes wide. Now this is after turn 3, and you see Grosjean, one car out there, and then Grosjean to the right-hand side.
Oh my God, it's torn the car in half. No wonder the fuel came out of it.
Yeah.
I said the fuel was in the middle of the car, and it's literally...
Whoa! And he's just gone straight across Daniel Kvyat there, as you can see.
That's extraordinary. Yeah.
It's just the car...
It's gone through the barrier, you see. The car's gone through the barrier And that's then been sort of used as a wrench, as it were, to literally rip the car in half.
Well, there's Romain Grosjean.
Unbelievable.
As the medical delegate, obviously the medical car starts the race behind the pack and would have been straight on the scene. Romain Grosjean jumping as fast as he can over the barrier. There were 3 people on the other side of the barrier who have all had a bit of a lucky escape, I think. There was a tyre that came off and went over the barrier as well.
He's more or less stepped out of the front of that car. That's a miracle.
I have not seen a car like that in my time commentating on Formula 1. I've never seen a Formula 1 car do that. And that's brilliant. A round of applause as these images are being shown in the pit lane from Romain's teammate Kevin Magnussen to see his teammate and friend hurdling the barrier there and escaping without injury. Martin, I've never seen a Formula 1 car do that.
It's pierced the barrier like a tin opener, and that's just literally levered the car apart. Such was the energy, but full respect to the FIA and the teams and the designers and all the stress analysis for they're constantly trying to improve the structural integrity of what's called the survival cell, the monocoque we refer to it as, or chassis quite often, and that's just saved his life, because that is extraordinary. And of course with the fire he needed to be out of there anyway.
Yeah, there is going to be a very lengthy delay here. That is why these barriers are going to need to be repaired, and that is not the work of a moment. And already on the scene, the circuit officials to start clearing the debris, of which there is a lot, but then also to make sure that those barriers